Welcome to New Friends Cinema,
where we get to know each other by sharing our favorite movies.
From childhood throwbacks to recent comforts, we walk through the stories together.
Keep in mind this podcast contains mad spoilers, and join us at the
New Friends Cinema.
Hello, and welcome back to New Friends Cinema. I'm Courtney.
I'm Dakota. I didn't know we were going.
I know, because you're usually the one to go, hello, and I'm like, hello.
I love it. No, I
went
loved
for
it. I love that. See, and this is like what I love about our relationship. We have this like, oh, okay, we're partying over here.
Sparkling water.
Okay. Didn't want to do that before.
No.
As I was saying, we have this amazing push and pull. This relationship that's
organic.
Just,
in the moment.
We can basically read each other's minds.
Oh, how are you?
I'm good. I miss you.
I miss you too.
I know we see each other like twice a week at least.
Yes.
But I just always feel like it's like for business these days.
I know, we're busy business women.
Yeah. Even though D&D is
business. It's fantasy business.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. I got new windshield wipers.
I need new windshield wipers. The one on my side goes,
Oh, I was rocking like half of one on the way to see Ty that one weekend, and I had to like kind of like slightly adjust every time.
It's always right in the middle of your line of sight
always
that gets fucked up first.
Yeah.
What is that? And so I do that too. And then I'll have to like shrug down or like sit high.
I feel like it's like some form of weird karma that I did something slightly stupid in the past.
Did you shell out? Did you shell out or did you get...
Ty shelled out, so he bought me a pair. He helped me put them on.
Okay.
I know, because I get really upset with things that don't work immediately easy, and so he helped. We pull up to Canadian Tire, we put them on, we get out, and I start doing it. He's like, we're not going to do it in the Canadian Tire parking lot. I'm like, why not? And he's just like, because we're surrounded by people who know what to do and like how to put them on, and both of us are like bouncing each other ideas off of each other, like trying to figure out how to do it.
I think it has instructions on the back now.
Oh, but this had like 10 diagrams on how to adjust it, and there's like a tool because they were like the super fancy kind. Okay. Anyways, we found a new parking lot to unshamefully.
Anxiety couple.
Yes.
I love that. That's so funny.
We can't be seen while we do this.
That would be my thought, and Prob would be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel like I can see into the future through my windshield now because of how crystal clear these like next level windshield wipers are.
I'm getting some.
Okay.
I'm getting some. Yeah.
Don't ask me to put them on because I didn't do it.
I know how. I know how.
It's good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
thank you. Well, that's great. That's fantastic news.
Little life update there for you.
Oh my god.
So,
I mean,
let's do it,
right? So why do you make me like not nervous, but
Giddy.
I am grinning ear to ear right now. Like I'm like, I can't speak. Don't look at me.
Articulation is hard.
It's my movie this week. We are talking about a romance for the ages. A love story as old as time.
Star-crossed, even.
I think, did they invent star-crossed?
I don't know.
Didn't he invent like
so
2,000 words or more?
So many words.
We're talking about Romeo and Juliet.
Shakespeare.
Specifically 1997 Romeo and Juliet?
Baz Luhrmann. Yes.
So I forgot to write it down, but I looked it up. It was a year before Titanic.
Yes, I did actually look that up because he looks so young and like there's a staircase scene in this movie and I'm like, Leo, can't help but be at that staircase,
He's
can't you?
always on that staircase.
Staring longingly up. Okay, let's get into it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. So yeah, as you said, Baz Luhrmann, who I think we all know for other things that he's done.
Yeah. Moulin Rouge.
Moulin Rouge is like a fave. Yeah. Recently he did Elvis.
Yes.
He did Great Gatsby.
And you either love Baz Luhrmann or you hate
the style is very chaotic.
Yep.
It is loud.
So many layers.
Layered. It's like a lot of mashing up of things in your face all at once. And it's very dizzying at times.
That's a great way of putting it.
Sometimes you're like, am I on drugs? Like, is this a little acid flashback I'm having? Or is this like...
Am I here in the now? No. It is a feast for the eyes, the ears. Mm-hmm. It's a story, obviously, that we all no.
Yeah, even if you've never read the play, seen the play,
Yeah,
you know lines from it. You know the story. Like, it's, yeah. So that's kind of cool too, because this is like, I mean, I still have a lot of notes and stuff. We're still going to walk through the story, but it's like, we all know what happens, unfortunately.
Yes, unfortunately. But like the way that we are like consuming it in this way is such a fun modern take. Like, it's essentially like, okay, we're gonna do Romeo and Juliet, let's do it in a way that makes it different than everything else that we've seen so far.
The first Shakespeare that I ever like read or saw or consumed was Midsummer Night's Dream.
Oh yes.
And I loved the movie as well. That one was earlier for sure.
I don't think I've seen that.
No? It has a lot of like pretty big celebrities, especially like for the time.
Gotcha.
But it's very much, it's kind of weird, but it's like very traditional. Like but they set it in like when the bicycle was new, which is weird.
What?
Like the 18th.
Okay.
I don't know when the bicycle was invented, but the bicycle was new and they were talking about it.
Right.
She was riding her bike. Anyway, also Get Over It was like a Midsummer Night's Dream thing, that movie with Kirsten Dunst. So this was like, that was like grade 9, and then this was grade 10. Right?
Oh,
we did Romeo and Juliet in grade 10, and we watched, because there was a movie adaptation in the 60s, right?
Oh, the black and white one?
So we watched that one, and then we watched this one. And this was like the best movie we ever got to watch at school.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we did Merchant of Venice in grade 9.
I don't know.
Not Pound of Flesh shit. But I don't know what it is. Grade 10, Romeo and Juliet. Yeah. It's like, all right, the kids are 15. Let's roll out the weird romance.
They were 15 in the screenplay, though. Romeo and Juliet are 15.
I thought she was 13.
Okay, well, he's 15.
Something like that. They're babies.
They're babies. So maybe they're like, these kids are ready to die for love, I guess.
Roll it out.
You were saying before we started that your mom was an English teacher?
Yes. Yep. She was an English teacher / art teacher. So you can imagine what that childhood was like growing up. But Romeo and Juliet, just Shakespeare in general, has been part of my life since I left the womb, really. I never really like got into it like English majors do. Yeah. But it was definitely, I have a lot of stories to go with because in grade 10, my mom was my English teacher. And so we did Romeo and Juliet in that class. Small rural town, y'all. There's only so many grade 10 English classes I could have gone to. But yes, there were some funny scenes that we had to act out in class and all.
Oh, you acted it out?
Oh, I will tell you what scene when we get there.
I'm scared, but we just like popcorn read it.
Really?
That's it. That's all we ever really did. You popcorn read it and then you watch the movie.
Yeah.
The end.
Did you watch both, like the black and white one and then
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, this one, I mean, it's obvious why we love it. As we were saying, the directorial style, like the fact that it's set modern day, I fucking love that.
Oh, yeah.
You'll see so they're running around with guns, but they kept the play the same, so the guns are all inscribed as like sword,
rapier,
dagger. Yeah, exactly, which is cool. And fucking young, sweet, beautiful Leo.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
the naive puppy dog eyes of Claire Danes. Just a very hormonal teenage angst love story.
Yeah. All right. So I'm like having like heart palpitations right now. So
you are excited.
I'm always so excited. Just in this room doing this. In the rest of I save it. And then I'm just like,
okay.
Okay, so the movie opens with a TV on a black background. There's white noise on the TV. It's an old, like, we grew up with this TV. Or like our parents grew up with this TV.
The antenna kind of TV.
Yeah. And then the channel clicks and changes, and it's a news anchor saying an opening monologue. And I'm going to read that monologue quick. I also didn't fully realize that me doing this movie and writing this script is like fully translating Shakespeare. Yes. Like this whole time I was like watching and I'm like, okay. I'm like,
what the
so
fuck
basically
did they just
there's
when I was watching this I was like, thank God I don't have to write the script for this.
I'm literally translating it from another language.
Oh, so good.
I felt smart. But so also any of you that are listening that were like not into Shakespeare, which is totally fair. Hopefully this gives you a hopefully it gives you like a better understanding of what the fuck was going on.
Yeah. And those of you who studied Shakespeare, don't come for us.
Yeah, for real.
We're doing our best.
I'm not a professional, okay? And I don't claim to be. Two health. I'm nailing it.
Two house.
Oh my god, I was born for the theater. Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona where we lay our scene. From ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life, whose misadventured, piteous overthrows doth with their death bury their parents' strife. The fearful passage of their death-marked love, and the continuance of their parents' rage, which but their children's end not could remove, is now the 2 hours traffic of our stage.
You did it. I couldn't look at you because I knew I would just start giggling.
Yeah. So that's what the whole movie sounds like.
Mm-hmm. And you translate beautifully.
We'll see. You're going to help me out. So that's on the TV. I think the TV like flicks off or whatever. And then the camera shows it's a modern city. It's got a huge Jesus statue in the middle of the city. It's meant to be, it's like, we're in Verona, but it's like LA.
Yes, definitely LA vibes,
but like
for sure.
slash with the big Jesus, the Cristo in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So you also see two big skyscrapers, one blue, one red, with Montague and Capulet.
Yes.
So it shows the parents of Romeo and Juliet, like walks through who they are. It's doing this like thing of the characters.
Yes.
This guy,
with like
this
text
guy.
intros, which I think is like super helpful because there's a lot of people and they refer to each other various times throughout the. So it's also like very like pop art in your face. This is who is playing who.
So Romeo is a Montague, and they're red.
Mm-hmm.
And Juliet is a Capulet. They're blue. And I feel like Montague should be blue.
You know, I agree.
Yeah. Capulet feels red.
It does feel red.
Yeah.
And as we know, standing the test of time, red and blue, classic enemies. They make purple.
Arguably the most beautiful color. So they're both children of the heads of these huge families.
Mm-hmm.
It also shows Paul Rudd.
Yes.
Who I completely forgot was in this movie.
Totally.
Who is playing Dave Paris, and this is the governor's son.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like vying for Juliet's hand in marriage.
Yes.
And he's like a nice young man.
Yeah.
Affluent, a great match, but we'll see. And then it also shows Mercutio, Romeo's best friend.
Yeah.
Mercutio is played by Harold Perrineau.
Mm-hmm. Arguably, I think one of the best performances in this movie.
Honestly, I was gonna say, yeah, incredible. He's got a couple of really intense monologues, and the way that he flows through with the emotion and like what he gets across and his starts and stops, and
it's lyrical, right?
Yeah,
like the way that he, you know, communicates these really intense lines.
Mm-hmm. So now the Montague boys are ripping down the freeway or the whatever in a yellow convertible. I love their cars. The yellow convertible and the
lowriders.
The other one. They're shouting curses about the Capulets. They're just like, the Montagues all wear really loud, open, like vacation shirts,
like Hawaiian style,
but
floral,
like floral, yeah, really loud. They're always like open, and they're just like shouting, and they're like being bad. So they pull up to a gas station, and one of the guys says that the fight is between their masters. They're like saying that, you know, we're in this fight, but it's between our masters, you know, not us. And the guy says, and then his friend says, it's between them, so it's between us. Yeah. Like, between them, so we're their men, so it's our fight too.
Kind of like an honor code thing. Like, if our boss doesn't like their boss, then we don't like them.
Yeah. A slick Capulet vehicle pulls up at another pump. There's like a van in the pump between, so they don't see each other. The Capulet boys get out. They all wear what?
I just love the Capulets so much.
So much. Yeah. They all wear like black leather. They're wearing like John Leguizamo has this like tight, like Jesus zip up, like I don't even know.
Is it a vest or
kind of? But it's like a
just slick? I think
yeah,
that's like
it's
the
like
perfect
tight.
way to describe
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
The Montague boys are like beachy, loosey goosey, kind of like frat boy vibes.
Yeah.
Whereas the Capulets roll up and they are like slick, almost chic, but badass.
like professional.
And isn't there like panther noises that are being made when they do their vibe? Yeah, it's very, again,
and their hair
different.
is like greased, right? And they've got their like the little baby curls and stuff. They look good.
Yeah,
I think. Everybody has guns, right? They're flashing their guns. They have their family crests on them. The van like pulls away so they can see each other now.
Lock eyes.
Yeah. The Capulet, this one Capulet who I didn't get the name of, but he like psychs out the Montague guys because the Montague guys that are in the car still are like low level guys. Lackeys. Benvolio, who is Romeo's cousin, he's the leader of those guys, and even he is kind of a lower level guy.
Yeah.
He's in the washroom. John Leguizamo, who is Tybalt, we haven't been introduced to yet, but he's in the gas station. So the guy who is psyching up these other guys is his lackey.
Yes.
Right? So it's like tiers of
lackeyness.
Lackeys. Yeah, the Capulet guy psychs them out, and then he gets back in his car. One of the Montagues bites his thumb at them, which I suppose is like flipping them off, right?
Ultimate Shakespearean insult.
Yeah.
They like have a...
Do you bite your tongue? Do you bite your tongue at me?
Did I say tongue?
I said tongue.
I know. I meant tongue. I do bite my tongue at you.
I do bite my tongue at you, sir. So Benvolio comes out of the washroom and he draws his gun and he's like, guys, chill the fuck out. Like Benvolio, who I will start to refer to as Ben,
please.
He is not. He's in all the fights, but he's not a fighter. Like he's really not. You know.
No.
But he kind of like he will stand up where he has to, where he feels like he has to, but he's not trying to make it worse.
It's almost like out of the lackeys, he's the one who has the most level head of like not wanting to spur on like this really intense fight between these two families. He's like, no.
He's also the closest to Romeo besides Mercutio,
right? And
very close to the head of the family.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's that, like, he's just, a little bit wiser in that way.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, chill out. A Capulet, who we just see their boots, their feet, lights a smoke at the gas pump.
Bold.
Drops the match. The camera pans up the body, and we see that it's Tybalt, who's played by John Leguizamo.
The legend.
So fucking good.
Perfect for this role.
So he's Juliet's cousin, and he is scaring everyone.
He's intense.
He's super intense. He's a very tough guy. He's got a huge reputation. Benvolio tells him that he's just trying to break up the fight between the guys, and he asks him to help.
Yeah, like settle. Come on.
Hey, like I'm trying to get my guys to calm down.
We don't want this.
You know, we don't want this to happen. This fucking kid comes out of the gas station with a fake gun and is like, bang, bang, bang. Tybalt whips around, puts his gun in the kid's face.
Yeah.
And he's like, bang. The kid runs away screaming, and then they fully start gunfighting.
Oh, dear. At the gas station.
They burn the whole gas station down.
It's a serious showdown with flammable liquid.
Benvolio at one point gets covered in gasoline. He's lucky to be alive.
Yep.
We see that the fight between these families is really causing strife in the city.
Oh, yes.
Big time. The police in a chopper catch Benvolio and Tybalt at having a standoff. The next scene, they're in court with the patriarchs of the families, and the Captain Prince, is saying that there have been 3 civil brawls between these families, and that he's fucking had it.
Yeah. Because there's so much mayhem. Like what the Baz Luhrmann does with this, lead up to the scene is just like it's absolute chaos in the streets. There's fires, there's gunfights, there's brawling, there's like serious people getting caught in the crossfire, and the Captain Prince is basically just like, you are hurting so many people, including your families. You need to settle the fuck down.
So Benvolio's in the limo with Romeo's parents, and his mom asks if he's seen Romeo, and she's also like saying that she's so glad that he wasn't in the fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know who the mom is?
I remember. What?
She's Julia's mom.
Juliet Gulia. Yes.
Julia Gulia's mom. Yeah.
Yes. Classic. Okay.
Yeah. So the parents are also talking about how like he's so broody.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, the mom is like, he closes his blinds and he makes it night when it's day, and all he ever does is like write and smoke. And the dad's like, kind of saying that he's not tough, like he's such a sad, like kind of a weak boy, and he's like, definitely there's some like a bit of a like, I don't know what's going on with my son, but like I'm glad he wasn't at this fight, but also I wish he would like
step up a little bit in this like toxic masculinity kind of way.
Yeah. They're obviously observing that like something is up with him, like he's emotionally
preoccupied.
Yeah. So we see Romeo in beautiful golden hour walking on the beach. He's smoking. He's writing poetry.
The poetry. The moodiness. You know, the level of sad boy that's going on right now on this beach.
He's the saddest boy.
Saddest boy.
Oh my god. Yeah.
He's a hot boy too.
Oh. Yeah. So the parents pull up. He looks at them. Mm-hmm. Also, this beach, it's like a boardwalk kind of thing. And it's called the Sycamore Grove because in the play he's down at the Sycamore Grove. I saw him there. So they've made it this like very cool kind of sketchy like beach place, but honestly there's some of those like outdoor little cabana restaurants,
little hangout spots.
I would love to hang out and drink a beer at one of those.
Totally.
Anyway, so he sees them and he just like turns and walks the other way. The dad is saying that he's in such a bad mood and that it won't go away unless somebody talks to him. And so Benvolio's like, I'll talk to him, like you know,
cousin to cousin.
Yeah. He's like, I will talk to him. I'll figure out what's wrong. We're going to cheer him up. Like, don't worry.
Yeah.
So the parents leave. Ben asks what's going on with him. And he says that he's sad because he's like out of someone's favor. He's in love and it's unrequited, basically. She doesn't love him back.
The moodiest of moodies.
So as they're walking, Romeo sees a little portable TV report, and it's fucking Benvolio with a gun, like mugging super hard, like and he's like, he gets really upset with his cousin for fighting, and he's like, why do you always have to fight? Like, this is so dangerous, and like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, we don't need to fight.
We really get to see Romeo's, I guess, like, not pacifist, but he's just really tired of all the fighting and the death, and he doesn't want to be this, you know, hard boy version of what his dad kind of wants him to be. He's like, I just want to write poetry by the ocean and have someone love me who doesn't love me back.
Yeah. They're also walking. We see Paul Rudd on the cover of Time magazine as Bachelor of the Year, which I feel like foretold the future because he was like People's Man of the Year like last year or something, right?
Paul Rudd is in everything.
Yeah, and he hasn't aged today.
He's a Time Lord.
Yeah,
for sure. Okay, continue.
And also, though, I love Paul Rudd so much. He is so goofy.
He's the epitome of what I consider like a smirk, but like not an evil smirk, but like a winky like smirk.
He seems really fun,
charismatic,
just
fun,
like
genuine,
a genuine person. Yeah. So anyway, he's on the cover of Time magazine as Bachelor of the Year. Now it flashes to Paris, Paul Rudd, talking to Juliet's dad about marrying her. And the dad he's not super into it. He feels like Juliet's too young.
13.
She's very she hasn't seen the world at all, but they're having a big party. He invites him to the party. He's like, I'm not saying no, but I just feel like, and Paul Rudd's like, your wife already had kids at her age, kind of thing. Like, come on. Anyway, so he invites him to the party that they're throwing that night. Right. So now we're back to Ben and Romeo hanging out, and they're in like a pool hall. And Ben is pestering Romeo to tell him who the girl is that he's pining after. He doesn't actually say it, but we see somebody in the background. This character's name is Balthazar.
Yes.
But we don't find out. Like, he doesn't say his name until the end.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just been calling him Romeo's buddy the whole time. And then at the end, I'm like, Balthazar?
Really? Okay.
Fuck.
Ballsy.
So he writes on a chalkboard, Rosalind.
Mm-hmm.
This is the girl that Romeo is, quote unquote, in love with.
Oh, yes.
Pining after. Ben's telling him, like, you need to get out there and see other girls. Like, this is just,
Yeah, come on.
you know, like, get over yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, there's, you know, like, just,
You're tired.
they weren't even together anyway. So it's like, just move on, right? They see on TV that the Capulets are having a party that everyone except the Montagues is invited to. She literally says that. She's like, be your name, not Montague. Come over.
Yeah.
And that Rosalind's gonna be at that party.
Mm-hmm.
So Ben's like, we'll go. Let's go to the party.
Yeah,
She'll
let's
be
shoot your
there,
shot.
Like, fucking, let's go have a good time.
Yeah.
Right? Ben and Mercutio are really solid friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So next we're in the Capulets' mansion. It's fucking huge.
Oh, over the top gaudy style.
Gaudy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a castle. Like, not even something that people would actually live in, but you'd like go and tour.
Yeah. There's
while
a
you're,
full on
like-
courtyard with a pool, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's over the top.
Juliet's mom is running all around looking for her.
Yeah.
She's got her hair like
In a wig cap.
in a wig cap. She's like half baked, right?
Yeah.
Running up, Juliet, running around. Casually, Miriam Margolyes is her nurse,
Oh, yes.
which is like, I never really noticed it was her.
What else is she in?
She was Professor Sprout in Harry Potter.
And, okay, now I'm putting things
Yeah.
together. She's a hilarious woman.
She's
So
like
funny.
a comedian.
Yes.
Yeah. The mom tells the nurse to go and look for her. So she's running around looking for her. Juliet's not answering because she's underwater. Her face is underwater. She's
moody in her own way.
doing a cold plunge.
Yeah.
But she's like eyes open, like And I remember doing this. Like I definitely
We
did
all
this.
reenacted
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
That, like, a hair, like,
And she's like
floating around.
tilting.
you. Her
Yeah.
big ass blue eyes.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
She was so cute.
so sweet.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
for our listeners who maybe are not aware, nurse translates to nanny,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
In this telling of the story.
Yeah, for sure.
Babysitter, nanny. The gully, if you will.
She's the gully of this movie, yeah. Also, Juliet is played by Claire Danes.
Yes.
I usually go through all the characters, but then Juliet shows up right behind her mom.
Mhm.
Scares the shit out of her. Her mom tells her that Paris is asking about her hand in marriage and that he's going to be at the party tonight. And the mom asks if she's down to love Paris.
All the while getting a shot of her childhood bedroom with literal dolls littering the room.
It's noted in here.
Yeah.
There's so many fucking dolls in her room.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And the mom's getting like cinched up into her corset and like
All the
puts
while-
her wig on. It seems like everyone smokes cloves in this movie.
Yes.
And it's a costume party.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I think it's Halloween because later we see people at the Sycamore Grove also dressed up. So I don't know. It doesn't matter. But she's going as Cleopatra.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's getting ready. She's like asked if she's down to love Paris, and she says, and Juliet says she'll look at him, but she's not making any promises.
Yeah. Subtle.
So Romeo is at the Sycamore Grove with his cousins. Mercutio shows up with tickets to the costume party.
Mm-hmm.
He's fully in drag. He's
Mhm.
got this like white wig on, like curly afro wig. He's got like silver skirt,
sequence.
legs for days.
Mhm. Red lip.
Romeo's a knight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't really notice anyone else's. Because
Yeah.
they're all kind of like half-assed. Right?
Yeah. They're half-assing their costumes.
Except for Paul Rudd's an
astronaut.
Yeah, which is great. So Mercutio got the tickets. Because Mercutio is not Montague.
Oh, yeah.
No, he's not in the family. He's just his best friend.
Because
so.
that's why all of the invitations said Mercutio and friends.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Slide.
He can go.
Very
yeah.
sly.
So Mercutio's trying to get, like, he's ready to fucking party.
Oh, yeah.
He's trying to get Romeo to dance, but he's like too sad because he's in love. And then Mercutio goes on this rant about, like, if you're in love, you shouldn't be sad. Like, you should be like your heart is so full, and like
Yeah.
does all this Shakespearean
Bouncing
talk about this, and then he kind of slips into this monologue about like dreams and fairies and like this, and it turns really dark.
Mm-hmm.
about like the dark side of like dreaming and like Queen Mab, and she like comes and whatever, and he really like kind of gets wrapped up in his own shit, and he like freaks out. And then Romeo's like, okay, chill, I'll lighten up.
All right, I'll take the ecstasy. Let's go.
Do you have anything else to say about that? Like that I kind of I'm sure there's more deeper meaning to what he's talking about, but that's basically he's just like he's getting frustrated with Romeo is how I feel. And he's kind of like, you have everything. Life is good. If you want to be sad, then like here's fucking like some shit to be sad on kind of thing.
Totally.
And just gets really worked up.
He's like a very real multi-layered character, whereas Romeo is definitely layered, but he's very dark and broody layered, whereas Mercutio is just basically like, yo, there's more than just what you're going through. Let's go have fun. I'm here, you're here, we're here. And later on, I think we obviously will talk about it then, but it's just Romeo's got this like main character energy and can only focus on himself, whereas people are going to pay some pretty significant prices around him. And Mercutio is basically kind of saying, preluding, let's say, all of that.
Don't fuck this night up for me.
Yeah, come on, man.
Like, this is great. So they take ecstasy and head to the party.
Oh, they are high as fuck.
Mercutio, when they get to the party, also this party looks fucking so fun.
It looks bananas, and the sets on Baz Luhrmann's movies are absolutely bonkers. There's
so
always fireworks, like no matter
so
what it
many
is.
Fireworks. So Mercutio's doing a choreographed dance number on the stairs. Young hearts run free, and it's like really disco, and I think his wig got bigger too. I don't know if you noticed that.
No, I didn't.
But it was like tighter when they were at the Sycamore Grove, and when he's doing his dance number, it's
free,
tall,
loose,
which I love.
Out.
Romeo is extremely overstimulated.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, and the drugs just hit.
Yeah,
right? So he goes into the washroom, dunks his head in the water, a la Juliet. He turns around from the mirror, and there's this big fish tank that's like dividing the men's and women's bathroom.
That fish tank, though.
Yeah. It's iconic.
You can see the fish tank and just a reflection and know... and just be taken back to the time that you first saw the scene. Yeah. So good.
I think a lot of people had the poster too.
Oh,
right?
Yes.
I didn't have the poster. I was a little later. Yeah, so he's like tripping balls on these fish, right? Like he's pressed up against the fish tank. Like, oh, so beautiful. So many colors looking at these fish.
Yeah.
He kind of goes down to the bottom of the fish tank, and there's this piece of coral that has this, that's like empty inside, and he just sees this fucking one staring eye through the coral, and
then his trip takes a dark turn.
And then she jumps up. It's Juliet also staring in, but just that quick second of that eye just like staring is so funny.
Oh, geez.
And then they're like looking at each other through the fish tank.
They're eye fucking. That's
kind of cat and mousing around. Much better than fucking Robbie and Julia's meet cute, which was
the dumpster.
The dumpster. This is very.
This
cute,
is romance.
Very romantic,
This is so fantastical. Ugh.
Yeah. So Juliet's nurse comes and grabs her away to meet Paris. So she gets ripped away. Romeo runs after her. Tybalt clocks Romeo, and he rushes at him, and he gets stopped by Juliet's dad, who's like, "We're fucking partying. Just chill.
Let it be."
Tybalt will not chill.
Yeah.
The dad slaps him, and he's like, "You're in my fucking house. You are not going to bring this war into my house right now at my party. You need to chill." And so he's like upset about that. Juliet cannot stop looking at Romeo.
Oh, it's like the doe eyes are just like...
So she's getting introduced to Paris. They're dancing on the dance floor. Fucking Paul Rudd dancing is...
It's the ultimate cockblock too, because he has no idea that...
His smile.
He's so happy.
He brings levity to this movie where it's really needed. Yeah. And so all of a sudden Romeo forgets about Rosalind, right?
Oh.
And he's now in love with Juliet. Paul Rudd, when they're dancing and he twirls himself around and then they're arm in arm and like kind of doing this walk and his smile, and he's just so funny. And I know that there are going to be multiple movies on this podcast where we talk about Paul Rudd dancing.
Of course. He is living his best life and he's like, I'm killing it right now.
Truly is so suave.
Yeah, Juliet's in love with me.
Year. She's so lucky.
And she's goo-goo-eyeing like behind his shoulder. Being
she's
like,
not even looked at
Romeo?
him once.
No. Love it.
So funny.
Oh, it's so painful to watch because
Oh,
you're just like, oh, dude, you don't have a chance.
No. So there's like a slow song. The whole crowd is like watching this happening. Juliet is standing with Paris and her mom by a pillar. Romeo kind of comes up behind, grabs her hand, kind of pulls her against this pillar because he's kind of pulling her away. He's trying to get a kiss, but they're having this like tete-a-tete, like they're like kind of back and forth thing about, you know, two hands touching, is that not a kiss, and like all of this and whatever. And so they sneak away from Paris and the mom into an elevator and they kiss.
They don't just kiss.
They
are macking.
They mac hard.
They mac
in this movie
elevator hard
a few times. So the nurse catches them and pulls her away again. He's following, and that's when he realizes who she is.
Because she's walking away with the family.
She's walking away up the stairs to a private part of the house with the mom and Paris and the nurse. So before he had seen her like with Paris, but he hadn't seen the mom, like he hadn't realized.
Yeah. The wheels are starting to turn.
Yeah.
Or the cogs are starting to click.
Yeah.
Basically.
Both.
Yeah.
So that then it's like a gut drop moment, and they're just staring at each other in this realization. His friends pull him out of the party because I'm pretty sure that they're gonna get like caught. Yeah. So they get their guns back. They're like driving away. He's staring still at the house. Juliet's running from balcony to balcony.
Yeah.
Trying to get a glimpse.
They are magnets. They like this whole story, this whole movie is basically just like love 0 to 60, like cannot take each other's eyes off of each other. They are just enamored, and it's kind of like sickly gross at some points where you're just like, good God, like slow down. Like, but you're also rooting for them immediately.
Yeah. Well, there's so much chaos around them too, and it's like, well, you know, we need a little bit of love. A little bit of love. She says, my only love sprung from my only hate. So
Ooh.
Tybalt walks out of the party, standing by the gates. Their car is left, but he's like talking to himself, watches them leave, and he says to himself that he will stand down tonight, but he will not forget this intrusion on them.
No. It's like the grudge has grown 10 times.
Yeah. So Romeo jumps out of the car while it's moving, ditches his friends. They're like, Romeo, and there's so much security. They're like, you gotta move on. So they leave him there, right? He's in the bushes. He's climbing around the outside of the house.
Spider-Man style.
He climbs up a trellis and he's looking into a window. He's talking about how beautiful Juliet is and he's trying to get a look at her. The nurse opens the window. He jumps back. Yeah. He's up on this trellis. Behind him, Juliet comes out of an elevator door. So he's still up on this fucking trellis.
You can't see me.
She's right next to him.
Yeah.
She's just talking about Romeo, oh Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo?
That line. Every kid
now.
Could probably reenact.
Yeah. She is tripping out about how they're enemies only because of their names. Would a rose by any other name would smell as sweet, right? Like it's that part. He is walking behind her as she's talking, and I can't exactly remember what she says, but he answers her, scares her. They both fall into the pool.
Yes.
I love this part.
All the while, like, somehow still out of the line of sight of those security cameras.
Security cameras everywhere. It has not just that, it's shown someone in a security room watching the cameras.
Yes.
Feeds. But they just are, I mean, I don't know. If I were 15 and I lived in a house like that with full security, I would know exactly where
all the spots
that you couldn't be seen. Yeah, but they almost get caught by security when they fall in. She's like holding him underwater, and then they mac hard again. She's saying that she wants to be embarrassed for what he heard her saying, but that she can't be because it's just true. And she asks if he loves her, and she says, regardless, if you lie, if you don't lie, I will believe you because I love you.
Oh.
But please be honest with me.
Yeah.
Because it means so much. He's like, yeah, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
So she has to go. She's like, I gotta go. She gets out of the pool and he's like kissing on her as she's climbing up out of the pool. And then he's like, will you leave me so unsatisfied?
Ugh.
Really reminded me of Will in episode 1. The vibe.
Oh.
Like shouting.
I wrote earlier before we even got started, the amount of times that I felt the exact same way in A Knight's Tale that I am watching these two teenagers like go back and forth with each other. Will you not speak to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will you leave me so unsatisfied?
So dramatic.
And it kind of comes over her. She's like, what do you mean by unsatisfied? Because she's thinking like, this guy just wants to fuck, right? And she's like, what do you want? How am I leaving you unsatisfied?
Mm-hmm.
And he says that he wants her to tell him that she loves him too. Like how she had asked him to say it and be honest. He's like, you can't leave without being honest with me like that. Which is sweet.
He's the romantic.
She runs back to him. They fall back into the pool kissing.
The level at which they are trying to be secretive, but also just yelling and splashing. The security guards know that they're there. Let's be honest.
Turn a blind eye one time, right?
Exactly.
She's just trying to live.
Exactly.
So she says that if his love is real and that if he really means to marry her, she's going to send someone to him tomorrow. And you're going to tell them when, where, and by whom we are going to get married. And I will come there. She asks him what time she should send someone. He says 9 a.m.
Crack of dawn.
He fucking means business.
I have to... and I didn't cover it. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm not over there. He didn't like sneeze in my face.
Room.
It's okay.
Carry on.
Yeah, so he says 9 a.m. So, and then she gives him her necklace. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say goodnight till the morrow. I say parting is such sweet sorrow all the time.
It's such a beautiful way to say I'll miss you.
Yeah.
And this is hard.
So the next day, Romeo runs into the church.
We see
just, it's like an overhead view of this huge chapel. And just like, beep, he just zips in there. Okay, so on top of the church in the greenhouse, the priest is teaching some young boys about poison.
Oh, yeah.
Like plants, but he's like, and this delicate liquid creates this perfect poison. But if you distill it just right, it won't kill you, but make you seem dead for 24 hours.
A little foreshadowing.
Right. I just think it's just two young boys. And he's like, anyway, just showing them, this is how you make poison, kid. So Romeo comes in and the priest is like, oh, you did not go to bed last night.
Yeah.
Priest immediately clocks. He's like, game recognizes game.
Yeah,
you are
because wearing the same
also
clothes.
Does a shot.
Yeah. He's a cool priest.
He
wears blue jeans.
Did I write this down? The Father Lawrence, Pete Postlethwaite, is who plays him. And you've seen him in stuff.
Oh,
He's
for sure.
Very recognizable face.
It's almost like he gives that actor quality where it's like he has done Shakespeare for realsies, not just like the Baz Luhrmann version of Shakespeare.
For sure. And he passed away in 2011. So
R.I.P.
Oh yeah, he clocks that he did not go to bed last night. Does a shot, and then he asks if he was with Rosalind. And Romeo's like, Rosa who?
I literally did you write Rosa who? Like Rosalind who?
Amazing. That's so good. Yeah, so he tells him that he's in love with Juliet now and asks him to marry them today.
Yeah. It is serious business. He's not messing around. Time is of the essence. And the priest is into it.
Not at first. The priest has to kind of talk himself through. But then the priest realizes, he's like, oh shit, I could potentially stop all of this fighting.
Exactly. He sees like the larger picture
here. Yeah. Because he does have this whole moment. Well, first of all, he says Holy St. Francis, which I kind of love. He says, yesterday you wouldn't shut the fuck up about Rosalind. and now you say you love this Juliet. And he's like tripping out listening to this kid's choir.
Yes.
This kid sings a few songs. Incredible.
Beautiful. I think they're singing Prince right now.
Are they?
Yeah.
Sure.
Maybe I'm just
Oh, yeah. Okay. And then he's like, okay, wait a second. Yeah, you guys could get married and this could end all the drama.
Yeah.
And I could be a big part in that. So he is pretty quickly on board.
And it's not an ego thing, I don't think. It's more so it's just like, this could make a pretty big difference. And I want to be a part of it.
I think that's what I mean by that, is that he's obviously really close also with both families.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Because
the church.
I guess it's the only church.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, because Romeo runs right to him.
Mm-hmm.
We see him conferring with Juliet's family, with Paris, about getting married at that church later, right? So she's like, he's obviously very close with both families. So I feel like, it's more so not an ego thing, but oh shit, like, yeah,
this could work.
And I can be the person to do that in the way that, like, nobody else could.
Hell yeah.
Be in that. So anyway, Romeo gets so fucking excited. He's like, let's go. And he slips, falls down, knocks over a huge candlestick on himself. It's very little boy energy.
Yes. Very excited.
Getting so excited to run on the playground, you trip over your own feet.
Yeah, totally.
At the Sycamore Grove, Ben and Mercutio are talking about last night, and they're wondering where Romeo is.
Yeah, he just bounced.
They're playing with their guns. They're dueling. Like,
they
dueling.
are. And you could just see them, like, in the regular Shakespeare play, kind of, like, fiddling with their rapiers and whatnot, because they're
practicing
balancing stances. Yeah. But it's very clear these boys love each other. Yeah. They are very good friends. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, the banter's really sweet between the two of them.
Mm-hmm. And they're talking about Tybalt a lot. About Tybalt's nickname is the Prince of Cats. They're talking about his reputation and just kind of like fucking around, right?
Because they're essentially at the same level in their respective families. Like Tybalt and Benvolio
are pretty much equal in the families. Yeah. So Romeo shows up, and Mercutio's really excited to see him. They're like scrapping in the sand, rolling around.
Buddies.
Juliet's nurse comes, and they're all like, "Oh, who's this lady?" Like,
right.
Kind of. But Mercutio's not. Like, Mercutio's like, "What the fuck, dude?"
And Romeo doesn't say anything about Juliet. He was all about talking about Rosalind.
Yeah.
Rosaline, whatever.
Yeah.
But he's, staying quite hush-hush about this, like... And I think at that point, it's like, this is real for Romeo.
Also, they need to lock it down, I think, before they say anything. Because it could be so...
catastrophic.
I mean...
Well, it
but Mercutio, as Romeo's walking away, you can see, he's like, you just fucking got here. What the fuck happened last night? I'm your best friend. Like, if it were me, I would be choked. I'd be like, what the fuck? Why are you acting like a stranger? Like, why are you being so weird? So... And who the fuck is this lady?
Yeah.
What are you keeping from me, right?
Secrets.
So he's like yelling, shouting after him, and he's not answering him. He's just walking away. And so he fucking shoots his gun off. And Romeo turns around, and then he's like, "Are you coming to your dad's house for dinner?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll see you guys there." Yeah. So the nurse tells him that he'd better not be messing with Juliet's heart. And he tells her, "I'm not. Come to Friar Lawrence's place this afternoon, and we're going to get married."
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is serious.
So the nurse is very happy to hear that. She gets home. She's making herself a snack. Juliet is begging her to give her the news.
Oh, chomping at the bit.
She's like, "Oh, my back hurts. Oh, I'm an old lady. Like, you make me run your errands, all this." So she finally tells her. Oh, golly. So the next scene, they're at the church. Juliet has her nurse and her driver there, and Romeo brought Balthazar. And then I wrote, "This fucking kid is incredible." So that must be talking about the kid in the choir.
Yes.
Singing.
This like child bride scene where she's like walking down the aisle. Oh, so sweet, so innocent. And she's always, for the most part, dressed in white, which is
she was
innocence.
An angel at the costume party.
Imagine.
Yeah,
pure innocence.
So they get married.
And it's very sweet. They're just like very goo goo gaga about each other after 24 hours.
Not even.
Yeah, love hit hard, and they're not going to think twice about anything. They're just going for it.
So Mercutio and Ben are at the Grove. Merc is shooting his gun into the water, being very chaotic.
Yeah.
Mercutio's energy is starting to unravel.
He is frantic and like starting to for lack of a better term, have like trigger happy in the sense that like anything is going to set him off to either be like this loud, boisterous monologue style thing or fight.
Yeah. Ben is sitting like on a lifeguard tower and he shouts at him that they should go. It's super hot. There's going to be a storm coming. He sees a Capulet car go by and Ben is like, if we see them, we're going to fight. Like, we need to go. Yeah. Right? Kind of thing. Like, but he says that to himself.
Right.
Because he doesn't even want Mercutio to know that he saw that. Right? The Montague boys are sitting around chatting. And then the Capulets pull up. Tybalt pulls up. Ben is super sussed out. Like, he looks scared. He's like, oh, just something bad's gonna happen. Mercutio is like, I don't give a fuck. So Tybalt walks up and his guys are behind him, right? And he asks if he can talk to one of them. And Mercutio is just clowning around hard. And he's like, you want to... Because he asked for a word. And he's like, just one word? Just one of us? LOL. Like... And he's kind of like leaning in his chair and being really like loose with his body. And...
Well, he has nothing to... He's not in these families, right? So he's nothing really to lose. He's
gets
just done with it.
He gets up and he starts like roasting Tybalt. And he's like riling up the crowd. There's people around, right?
Yeah.
Tybalt asks him if he consorts with Romeo. And Mercutio flips the fuck out.
My boy!
And he starts going after Tybalt. But then Ben gets it. He tries to get in between them. And he's like trying to calm him down. He's basically saying like, at least let's do this in private. Please. Like, we're in public. There's so many people around. Like, we don't need to do this. But at least like, let's just save it.
Because the princess put a gag order on like these uncivil fights, right?
Remembering his uncle's words too, like, and how much is really at stake if this pops off again.
Yeah.
And again, Ben isn't really a fighter, you know?
He's not very assertive. How could you be against like Mercutio and Tybalt, right? Such strong personalities.
Yeah.
So they just kind of steamroll him.
Romeo pulls up, right? And Tybalt's like, okay, you guys are safe. This is the guy I'm looking for. Anyway. So Tybalt says that Romeo is a villain, and his guy takes his gun out and takes all but one bullet out of the gun.
What a threat.
Mercutio turns to Romeo. He's like, you know, and Romeo just puts his hand on him and goes up. Tybalt's trying to duel him.
Yeah.
He walks up to him and he says he's not a villain and that he has to love him.
Because he's family now.
Yeah, and he reaches out to shake his hand. Tybalt fucking slaps his hand away. Tybalt is chasing him and just starts kicking the shit out of him.
Ooh.
Trying to get him to fight. All the guys are watching. Mercutio is like you can see him getting really heated and like ready to jump in. And he's shouting too because Romeo has submitted. Romeo has gotten up and put his hands up and said, I love you. Yeah. Like, I'm not. And Tybalt just keeps beating him up. And Mercutio's getting like pissed off because he's like, he fucking submitted. Right. Like, what are you doing? And he's kind of saying this to himself. So Mercutio jumps on Tybalt, throws him off of Romeo. He goes to deliver him another blow, but Romeo grabs Mercutio and tells him to spare his outrage. Tybalt fucking stabs Mercutio.
'Tis but a scratch. It ain't a scratch.
He plays it. He's trying to play it off. He's like laughing and looks down, sees he's like, I'm about to die. He gets really fucking pissed off. Yeah. And he goes, a plague on both your houses.
Yeah, I'm done.
This is a really intense scene too because as he lays down to die, fucking Romeo climbs on top of him. He's holding him. He's like a brother to him. Goodness. He's screaming, he's crying, he's saying, no. Please, like, I'm so sorry, like all this. And all Mercutio says is a plague on both your houses. Yeah. Like, Mercutio's like, thanks a lot, bitch, right? He dies.
Oh, so painfully epic. And Leo, what? Like, he can do the scream, cry, angry, sad, like, face, tears. Like, it's so
there's a lot of scream
genuine.
Crying by Leo in this.
He is such a good actor. And
it really like it gets to your to your guts. Like it's so.
This was his audition for Titanic, and he nailed it. Oh my goodness.
Meanwhile, Juliet is in her room full of dolls, just talking to herself about how much she loves Romeo.
Yeah.
We flash to Romeo covered in blood, speeding his car down the road after Tybalt. Yeah, chasing him down. Tybalt's car goes out of control, gets in an accident. Romeo pulls up. Tybalt gets out. The driver's still in. He wasn't the driver. The driver's still in the car. Tybalt gets out of the car. Romeo runs him down. He puts his head to Tybalt's gun. This has not stopped being intense.
No.
This is like, but this is now the emotion is fucking crazy. Like
Full blown
full of grief and
chaos.
Anger.
Somebody's brain is not working.
Puts his head up against Tybalt's gun. He's saying, one of us or both of us is gonna die for Mercutio right now.
Ooh.
It's you, it's me, or it's both of us, but one of us is fucking dying right now.
Like the desperation.
And he's like screaming it.
Yeah.
Tybalt was not ready for this level of fucking craze.
No.
So he drops his gun and he runs. He starts running away. He's just like, holy fuck. Romeo picks up his gun, shoots him down.
Yeah. Cold-blooded murder in the middle of the streets, essentially.
Yeah, in the middle of the street. It's like at a big fountain.
Yeah.
So Balthazar pulls up in his fucking beater car. And he tells him to get the fuck out of there. You gotta get the fuck out of here right now.
Yeah.
The cops show up and ask Ben who started the fight. Ben says Romeo told them all to stop fighting. And that Romeo killed Tybalt because Tybalt killed Mercutio. Juliet's mom is there flipping out. I'm pretty sure that her and Tybalt were fucking.
I had a note because there was like this weird kind of scene at the party too.
They kissed.
Where they were like kissing and like touching, and I was like, she's totally fucking her nephew. Like that is some Shakespearean shit right there.
Yeah, she's screaming.
Yeah.
And she's saying that Romeo has to die.
Yeah.
Romeo's dad, like all the parents are there. Romeo's saying that Romeo just gave justice to Tybalt and that he shouldn't be in trouble.
Yeah.
He's like, he killed his friend and then he killed him. What? The chief banishes Romeo from the city.
Banishment.
Banished.
Yeah. A banished.
So at this point, also, Romeo has fled the scene, right? So Romeo's with the priest who is cleaning up his wounds. The priest is telling him that he's fucking lucky.
Yeah.
Right? Romeo's crying still. He's so upset. He's like, nothing goes my way. He's like, dude, there should be a death sentence on your head. Instead, you get a chance at a new life.
Yeah.
What? Like, count your blessings. There is a chance for you. Everything can be okay. Cleans him up. Juliet's nurse comes and says that Juliet's a fucking mess.
Rightfully so.
The priest is like, go comfort her. Get out of the city before morning, basically. Yeah. Before the guard goes up in the morning and you can't get out.
Everything will be fine. We have a plan.
Well, the priest is a fucking like solid dude. He's like, go out of town, wait there. We'll figure it out.
You'll hear from me.
Yeah. So Juliet is praying and Romeo comes in soaking wet from the rain.
The water droplets coming off of this man's fringe, like the dreaminess.
It's like Devon Sawa had that.
Yes.
Too. Yeah.
The mushroom cut.
Yeah. So
short
cute.
in the back.
Honestly, sometimes I'm like, I wish Prab would get it. I think he looks so cute with it.
It could work.
Also, okay, they start kissing like immediately. I'm gonna need some explaining
just
before we consummate.
What happened?
You just killed my cousin.
It's such a...
Just walk me through the chain of events.
But they are in love. They are teenagers. There's hormones. There's Shakespeare. They are gonna do it.
So they're fucking upstairs.
Yeah.
Paris is downstairs with Juliet's parents.
Right.
And her dad's like, you know what? Juliet's so fucking sad about Tybalt's death. Why don't you guys get married on Thursday?
I think that'll cheer her up.
It'll cheer her up. She's sad. This is my full note. Her nurse is a real one, all caps, period. Warns her that the mom is coming. There are so many dolls in her room.
Every time. It's like, more dolls?
More?
This is a child. This is a child.
That's to say I kind of skipped it in my notes. But yeah, they made love. He stayed the night. They had this back and forth in Dawn in the sheet. We all remember that part.
So this is the scene
that you had to reenact in class?
In class. And okay. Oh. I don't know, like in hindsight, the level of inappropriateness that was my mother's matchmaking at this time. So, high school teacher, grade 10, she knew that I had like goo-goo eyes for a guy in that class. She made me do that scene. I was horrified. I was like, you are not making me do this. She said, yeah, it'll be fun. You'll get to know him. You can practice. Like, not like the obvious things, but like a little bit of exposure therapy, being like, yeah, go talk to him. Like, I'll give you this scene. It's extra romantic. I was like, I hate you, but okay, let's do it. So I know this scene very well, and it brings like a level of cringe to me because it's like 15-year-old me acting out the scene with my crush that my mother orchestrated in front of my entire grade 10 class.
Did you have a sheet?
There was a sheet.
Oh.
We weren't under it by any means, but like
just twirling it.
But like,
because really that's what they're doing. They're like twirling in the sheet.
Yeah. So
can you recite any of it to me?
There was like this one line where she looks down at him and she's like, "Oh no, he's like in a tomb," and I was like, "Oh shit!" That like literally came back to me word for word.
I also wanted to say this before we get to the end. There are many premonitions. Both of these kids are having premonitions through the whole movie of their deaths.
Of course.
They're moments. They're just different moments where they're like, oh, I look at you, it's like you're dead. Kind of thing, like different or...
Yeah, calling her an angel after death, stuff like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, this scene was weird to rewatch.
That's so fantastic.
But like the level... The level of teenager stank sex, that like the sex smell that must have been in the nurse, like the real one comes in being like, oh, we need to like open the windows. We need to like freshen up the sheets.
You can see that she's stripping the bed when the mom comes in. She's like getting the sheets out of there.
Totally. And the level of drama that ensues after this like cleanup, the mom is like, so guess what? We've made a love match for you.
Oh, yeah. So... where am I? Yeah. Her mom comes in and tells her that she's engaged. Juliet flips out, screaming. The dad comes in. The mom's like, you fucking tell her. Like, you tell him, like, what you think. Like, you deal with her kind of thing. Dad fucking flips on her. Then the mom tries to pull him off of her. He hits the mom. He pushes the nurse over. He literally says, if you be mine, I give you to my friend. If you not, then go fucking die, basically. The first part is word for word. The second part, I kind of freestyled.
And there's this one part in this exchange where he was just like, who are you? Why are you this way? And the nurse like gets in the way being like, she is this way because you raised her this way. Like, you need to look at yourself in the mirror here. This is of something you've created.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big explosion. It's really sad.
Really intense.
She's bawling after the dad leaves. She asks her mom, delay the wedding, something. Just do something, please. And the mom is like, figure it out for yourself, you little bitch, basically. Yeah. Like, she's just like, you're not my daughter kind of thing. You're on your own. So sad.
Gross.
The nurse is like trying to comfort her, drawing her a bath, and she tells her that she thinks that she should marry Paris. Like, he's a nice guy. She's like, your first husband is basically dead. Like,
can you get double married? Like, in the eyes of God? Is that okay?
I mean, in the eyes of some people's gods, yeah.
Fair enough. In this, because I was curious about this because the nurse was like, yeah, you can get married, but like she's already married to Romeo because the nurse was a witness to that, right?
No, but she's saying that Romeo is going to be dead soon.
Gotcha.
She's like, your first husband is like, I mean, your first marriage, let's be real, it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
And she does mention that he's pretty, like, she says that he's dead. Yeah. So, no, but nobody knows about it, I guess. So,
yeah, I guess that's the point.
So Juliet goes to the church, and Paris is there, planning the wedding. He leaves her with a very awkward kiss that she does not like. But he, again, it's another one of those, yes, nailed it.
He is so psyched. Like, he's so
really
excited.
Yeah.
He has no idea what the fuck is going on behind these closed doors here.
So perceptive. So bad. So Paris leaves, and Juliet asks what they can do because she wants to die.
She whips out a little mini pistol.
So cute.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. The priest tells her that he has an idea. They can fake her death with a poison that he conveniently just brewed. And that after everyone thinks she's dead, he'll give her the antidote.
Easy peasy.
24 hours.
Nothing will go wrong.
He says that he'll send Romeo letters so he knows the plan and that Romeo will come and take her away.
Yeah, it's just a little roofie. You'll wake up.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
We'll have your funeral. Everyone will be sad. Then you get out of here. We cut to the middle of the desert. A small RV. The postman leaves a note that he came, but Romeo is about 10 feet away from the trailer, just hitting rocks with a stick.
Oh my god. These are children.
Yeah.
Just playing with rocks in the back.
Juliet goes to bed, tells them, what does she say to the mom? She's like, who knows when I'll see you next?
So cryptic.
And the mom's like, Good night.
Okay, cool. Bye.
So Juliet takes the poison. The next morning, the priest comes, hides the vial. They take the body to the church. Romeo's buddy, Balthazar, walks up during the funeral. The priest he sees him, he tries to talk to him, but he fucking runs away.
Yeah.
Too quick.
And the priest is like, it's okay. I sent a letter. It should be fine. Romeo should know what's going on.
So Romeo's journaling on his stoop.
In the banished desert.
Yeah. His buddy racing to him.
Yeah.
We also see the mail truck coming down the road. As Romeo gets up to greet his friend, we see that he steps on the notice that the postman left the day before. Balthazar tells him that she's dead. Juliet's dead. As they rip away, the postman's walking up with the letter. Fuck, man. Romeo comes back to Verona. The cops know that he's there. There's like this chase going on. The priest calls the post office and asks about his letter. They tell him that it wasn't able to be delivered.
So the priest is like, ruh-roh, this is not good. Everything's falling apart.
Okay. I'm going to wait, but
okay.
Yeah, everything's falling apart. Romeo shows up at the drug dealer's house, the quote-unquote apothecary, and he asks for a poison. The dealer doesn't want to give it to him. He says like his soul says no, but his pockets say yes because he's poor.
Yeah.
So he gives it to him. They speed away. The choppers are after him. The priest fucking goes to the post office, gets his letter, realizes Romeo doesn't know, so he sends another letter. Like, my note, get back to her body and explain things.
Literally?
Go stand by that fucking body.
You could have... These adults failed these children. First of all, roofing, never a great idea. Secondly, just go. Like, a letter is not going to get there in time.
Also, Romeo doesn't have to be there when she wakes up.
No.
You can be there when she wakes up.
Yes.
Everyone thinks she's dead. Sneak her into a fucking back room.
Nobody's there.
And get her out of the city later.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Sloppy. It was a great plan, to a degree, but now it's gone sloppy.
It pisses me off every time. Yeah. Like, this story's like 600 years old or some shit, and it's like still
every time
fucking upsetting people
just
on the regular.
Miscommunication trope at its finest in the early Shakespearean years of
God.
Like, but wait, he didn't know?
So Romeo has a shootout with the cops in front of the church.
He like grabs like
Casually
a hostage.
takes a hostage. Yeah, I wrote that. Just fucking cash.
The level of desperation that this kid has right now.
Oh my God. So he comes into the church. It's full of candles, crosses, flowers, the aisles strewn with flower petals. We did see a glimpse of this earlier. There was a quick glimpse of this when Romeo was like talking about his dreams and shit.
The premonitions.
Yeah. So at the altar, Juliet's body is shrouded in white, surrounded by candles.
So many candles.
Dangerous amount of candles to leave burning. I guess. Okay. Where are the two young boys? Where are the altar boys?
Yeah. They're just...
Where's the choir?
They're singing Prince in the back room.
So he lies down beside her. He's stroking her face. He's saying that she's just as beautiful even in death, that she's conquered death because it didn't take away any of her beauty.
Hint number one, she's not dead.
And he keeps saying, too, how you really don't look dead.
Yeah.
Like, you look so good.
Like pink and blushing.
So he puts her ring back on her finger because she had given it to him when he left. We see her move a little bit. Her fingers stir.
The level of like, just look at her.
Just fucking look at her for 1 second.
Slow down.
So he kisses her and her eyes open. He's like digging around his pocket.
Yeah.
She smiles. She reaches his hand out. He takes the poison as she touches his face.
And he's like, what?
So now she's fully awake and he's dying.
Yeah. Little switcheroo there.
She's trying to kiss him. She's like, give me some of the poison.
Oh, still left on your lip.
He says, thus with a kiss I die. She's just staring at him. This part is very good. It's so silent, and she's just like...
Her world's she just woke up from being roofied for 24 hours.
This moment of disbelief, and that instance of seeing, the plan worked. He's here.
And then...
we can be together.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
It did not work.
Sad. So she's just staring at him. She cries out a little bit, like she's like, right? And then she sees his gun and she shoots herself.
Yeah.
So their bodies, they're laying there together on the altar. they're being brought out of the church. Both sets of parents are there. Now I have two little speeches. The police chief says, "See what a scourge has laid upon your heat, that heaven finds means to kill your joys with love. And I, for winking at your discords too, have lost a brace of kinsmen. All are punished."
Banished.
So now it ends with that same TV, and the newscaster says, "A glooming peace this morning with it brings the sun, for sorrow will not show its head. Go hence to have more talk of these sad things. Some shall be pardoned and some punished. For never was a story
Of more woe
than this, Juliet and her Romeo." The end.
And they all died at the end.
The end. Everybody fucking dies. Didn't I text you? I texted you yesterday. I was halfway through. I think it was like at Mercutio's death when I texted you. And I was like, I always forget that everybody dies. Or I always have to remind myself.
Yeah, everybody dies in the end.
It's
a true Shakespearean tragedy.
Sad. It's really sad. Ben didn't die though. Ben Volio's still alive. But he's going to need some real therapy.
Oh.
Like,
yeah. And Paris is going to go on and like win his election.
He'll be fine.
None the wiser. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Like, where was the nurse and the priest at the end there? Like, they were just like, oh no, we gotta go. Like, this is not good. Start a new life.
Well, I mean, nobody knows that they were involved, so. But they gotta live with that.
They do.
Forever.
Yep. Don't trust the Postal Service. That's the true message of this whole story.
No, they work very hard.
Oh, of course.
Neither rain, sleet, snow, untimely death.
You have to be ready in that window.
Banishment.
That delivery window is serious. And Romeo was just like whacking rocks behind the trailer.
Also the fact that it was like this big fucking piece of paper that says "we missed you," and he just like stepped on it. Like he's so. That's what you were saying about the main character energy, about how Mercutio and his friends are like, can you fucking like
just
get out of your own head for a second?
On Earth for a second.
Like he's so narrow in his sight that it's
poetry,
so
girls, Spider-Man climbing up trellises, professing love.
Yes, cigarettes. I guess he likes.
Oh
those. Yeah. So, how do you feel?
It is that funny feeling of like, yeah, this is dark. Because it's like so heavily romantic and innocent and naive and loving and just so intense the whole time. And we all know what's obviously going to happen. So you're just watching this like ship sink terribly. But you're still just like, come on, you guys, you can make it.
This would be my horror movie. How we noticed that all of my movies are fucking romances so far. See?
Yes.
This one, love does not win in the end.
No, it does not. There was no wedding in the backyard.
There was a wedding, but...
Ooh. Oh, man. I love the Baz Luhrmann effect of this movie, too, because tale as old as time. Star-crossed lovers, of course. These violent delights have violent ends, or whatever it was. We all know how the story is going to go, but it's such a fun way of, reliving this story, because how, like, the classic, like, gang war fights between, like, these velour-clad-in Capulets with these beach boy frat guy Montagues. Like, I love seeing these old tales through a new lens. Yeah. And I think that's why I love this movie so much.
100%. It just makes it's so digestible. Like, it's just so much fun. It like really makes it a lot more fun, and yeah, I love it. And basically everything you said is correct, and agree. I agree. This would not be on here if it weren't for the, as you said, Baz Luhrmann effect. Yeah, it's just great.
And the soundtrack is like Dance Mix 96 through and through.
It has been stuck in my fucking head for 2 days. Yeah.
Run free. Yeah. Maybe she's just like my mother.
How are we gonna rate this bad boy?
How many thumbs are we biting? Or how many roofie, like Juliet roofies?
No, I like the Ben thumbs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clearly.
I'm gonna just go ahead and say 2 thumbs bitten.
Ooh, 2 and 2. I don't know any other creative way of saying I also bite my 2 thumbs. I do it, and then I do a thumbs up afterwards.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. A bite.
Psych. Turn it into a thumbs up. Ding. Nice. Oh, with a wink.
With a wink. A Paul Rudd wink at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vote for Paris.
Aw. I love that. Yeah, it was great. we're both kind of sad now.
I think so.
Even as we were reading through, like halfway through, I'm like having such a great time, and then I'm like, get to the Mercutio part, I'm like, fuck.
Well, it's like at the end of that one episode that we didn't get to air because of audio, we were both like sitting in the end of like just like the final moment, being like, wow, so that was really sad at the end. And
because when you really like get it, like even there's a difference between just watching it and then when we get into it and we talk about it, and you're like, really have the back and forth of like what this is representing or what that we're feeling and seeing.
The digesting.
Like, holy fuck, that is actually so sad. Are you ready? Oh wait, no, I always ask, I don't think you ever ask, but I always ask favorite character.
Ooh, Paul Rudd. No, I think Mercutio is definitely up there. But you know, I really appreciate the performance of Tybalt. I really enjoyed John Leguizamo's performance of this like very suave velour Prince of Cats. So
scary
hot. Like really sexy. And
really sexy though. Like really sexy.
Like the bad boy energy.
That fucking tight zip up Jesus shirt.
Up with like almost like sheer sleeves.
I want to get that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm like sexually into Tybalt and, you know, literarily enjoying Mercutio.
Yeah.
Both performances were great.
Fantastic, yeah.
I
mean, Leo clinches it for the scream crying for sure. The madness, that moment with him and Tybalt in the end, where we just see him completely coming undone, and Tybalt, who has this huge reputation and is so scary and intimidating, just really like seeing the reality of like what he's done and running from that. Incredible acting. My favorite character would be Ben, because he too is a lover, not a fighter, but he has a bigger, I think he's older, he seems older,
level head,
he's got a leveler head, he has a bigger frame, a bigger perspective on things, of having each other's backs, of being there for the family, but of also not wanting to perpetuate this stuff. And he's just a really solid friend, and he's kind of left at the end of this to pick up the pieces. And and I thought it was just I don't know that actor, but I thought he did a really good job portraying that gentleness in all of this chaos.
Totally.
You know?
Have you ever seen this in like on stage, like proper Romeo and Juliet style?
No, I don't think so. No.
One day.
Yeah. Only in 10th grade English class.
Oh God, the cringe.
Yeah. It's your turn to pick.
It is my turn to pick.
I think about this so much. Like, this is again like the favorite part. I get so excited when it's my turn, but I think I'm equally excited when it's your turn,
because you have no idea what's going on in there.
I have no idea, and and knowing that I don't have to write the notes and I just get to watch them.
Okay, I choose you, Pikachu.
Yeah, you have a lot in there now.
So this is great. Dakota's themes are romance.
Here's her death. What is it? Oh no.
Have you seen this movie?
No, I actually haven't. And
no. Are you scared?
No, I'll be fine.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm not.
Good.
It was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So a lot of these movies are when I was a kid, I was just a really gentle, soft kid, and I couldn't stand anything remotely scary.
Mm-hmm.
I am fine with horror now. I actually really enjoy it.
Nice.
I really do enjoy it. So this is one that came out when I was younger that I couldn't watch, and I have not seen, but I have wanted to watch.
Excellent.
So I am super down. I'm very excited. Yeah, and I think that romance streak is just something we're discovering as we pick. What's your favorite thing? Well, I've always just loved romance,
and I've always loved horror. And this
Sleepy Hollow was like horror light, like kind of quirky fantasy. This is like straight up a horror movie.
This is horror and indie horror, no less. I'm very excited because I watch this almost yearly.
I'm so excited too. Oh my gosh. Get ready to get fucking spooked next week.
Spooked! I like zoned out because I was like, this is going to be scary. Okay, cool.
Yes, thank you so much for listening. We just have such a blast every time we sit down and do this. So we really appreciate your support and spending time with us. Please, take the time to subscribe, leave a review if you can. My dad was texting me, how do I leave a review? So I'm not.
We don't know.
So it depends on where you you listen, right? Some places you can't, but you can you can rate, which is amazing. like it, download, subscribe, anything that you choose to do. It
Mhm.
means a lot to us. It really helps us out. You can follow us, New Friends Cinema, on Instagram.
Mhm.
And if you have any questions, comments, you want to reach out, you want to say hi, you want to tell us that you love us, anything like that,
Mhm.
you can email us at newfriendcinema@gmail.com. Anything else, Courtney?
If you want to watch the movies beforehand, before listening, I think we do a little Instagram post of the movie that we're going to watch, and it's in the episode description. So
Yes,
watch
that's a really
along.
good note. That's a
Yeah.
really good note. I think I'm going to start doing the Instagram post the day before, maybe?
cool.
Or just earlier the day of. But yeah, we always know what the movie is in its description. So you have that there. That's a fun element if you choose to do so. If you prefer to just be walked through it by our lovely voices, that is
Incredible
fantastic as well.
synopses.
We are very thorough.
Thorough.
A good man and thorough.
Wait, with that, we'll
That's
see
Big
you next
Lebowski. Okay.
time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I
What
don't
am
know.
I thinking? I locked eyes. Like,
What am I thinking right now?
I don't know.
Oh, try. Just guess.
Bananas.
Close. It starts with a B-A.
Bandana?
No.
Oh,
No.
no.
Just
Go.
think like
Barbara.
no. But B-A-R is right.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. This is gonna be great content. Baratheon.
No, B-A-R.
Bara. Oh, I don't know. Tell me.
Bartok.
Bartok.
You were so
Excellent.
close.
I was close.
Oh God. Forget lapping away from the mic. Am I right?
No, hell no.
Fuck it.
Authentic.
Yeah.
Love story.
Yeah. All right. So I'm like having like heart palpitations right now. So
You were excited.
I'm always so excited. Just in this room doing this. In the rest of I save it, and
Yeah.
then I'm just like,
Okay.
Rob bought it for me.
I love the color. That's my childhood bedroom color right there.
It came with 3 different heads.
The Hydra. The Hydra flask.
This
I am a genius. You get it?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
I'm laughing. I get it. I get it.
Hydra flask. Anyways.
It's genius.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep it in.